Tutoring the NYO is a very interesting experience because at the beginning of the year you're confronted with 9 individuals, and really it's my job to make those 9 individuals into a team. And that means really sort of integrating various sorts of sounds, various styles of playing into something that's really effective in the orchestra. Okay, Zoe, shall we just hear the beginning of La Mer? Well, I think the first thing to say about that, you've got a wonderful sound.
Thank you.
With the muted trumpet. You know, in the orchestra, you may know that you play in octaves with the cor anglais, and that's exactly right. But every time anybody plays this, they always check it for sound, how the two sound colours mix. I thought you sounded super, but the thing that you're a little bit wayward with was the pulse. You've got to keep it going. Ba 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 be 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 be. So just keep in time.
Okay.
I'm going to just help you this time. I'm going to give it a little wag. So 1, 2, breathe. Breathe again. Off you go. Wow. Well, I like the way that you use the sound of the trumpet, 2 after 1, but don't get late. And one thing that you can do just a little bit more is just play a little bit more piano for that last couple of bars.
Okay.
All right? So just do from figure 1. From figure 1. 1 and go. Up you go. Move. Well, that's okay. Shall we just have another go? That's good that you took that risk. That's lovely. I would be a very happy conductor if I heard that.
We've just done an excerpt from La Mer, and it was quite quiet, and it was doubling the cor anglais. So, and it was using a fibre mute. So you kind of had to get the right blend of sound to play with the cor anglais.
The first excerpt was a very delicate one, and that's how to fit into an orchestral texture. You know, you need a very sensitive approach to sound, but at the same time, I think you've got to keep in time with the cor anglais.
It's really beneficial. It's kind of things that obviously you wouldn't pick out by yourself, and seeing as John's like an experienced orchestral player, it's really useful to know how you do that in an orchestral situation.
Okay, so let's hear this famous figure 44. Off you go. Super. Now, you know, this it says a dialogue between the wind and the sea. It's a storm, really. And, you know, the way that Debussy orchestrates it is very, very vivid. Just before you sort of play, there's a stopped horns, suspended cymbals, and tremolando strings. It's quite electric. So you can, even though it says forte, you can play a sort of really generous forte with a lot of passion. So it's yam bam bee da 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 da, especially the front of the phrase. And I saw you breathing really well. That's going to be the key. And I'm going to give 1, 2, 1. So to help you breathing, 1, 2, 1. let's do a take two. That's no problem. It's no problem. The first half was excellent, you know, and I think you just let go a little bit. You know, you need the intensity at the beginning. Now the second half of that phrase, it can actually be slurred. And if you're tonguing anything in this one, it can just be da da da. Don't do more with the articulation.
Okay.
And if you're doing any tonguing in here, it can be just very minimal. Da 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 da. Just to help you. Okay. Almost a slur. Have another go. That was good already. Really good. Let's do a third time.
Okay.
Let's do a third time, because you know this is what it's going to be like in the orchestra. Sometimes the conductors ask for it a few times until they get the sort of the character that they want. And I thought that was perfect. Maybe in the third bar, can you be a little bit less prescriptive, and can you just let that flow more?
Okay.
Just go da 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 da. Let it flow through. That's a good sound.
Thank you.
Go on. Wonderful, wonderful playing. Now I'm going to give you a little tip for preparing these things. You know, I think as you can see in Debussy's score, it's trumpet in F for a start, so you transpose up a fifth. But he's written it in a very, very sharp key. You know, and for example, the note B sharp, it transposes to a G, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A B sharp becomes an F double sharp or something like that. So you could write that out. You know, if you're preparing it, just write it out in a flat key at home, and that's an enormous help sometimes in these awkward passages. And by the time you learn it and get it into your system, into your subconscious, you know the notes.
Yeah.
And sometimes those notes look a little bit funny on paper, and this is a perfect example of that. But it sounds great. The second excerpt is a big solo. You're all on your own, playing right over the top of another 159 musicians. So you've got to have the ability to make your presence felt.
That's quite different to the first excerpt in the sense that it's obviously quite loud and it's quite passionate, and it has to sort of like carry across the orchestra, and you have to have quite a powerful sound to do that. But then it's kind of different to playing loudly. You have to kind of get a round sound without forcing it, so it just sort of floats on top of the orchestra.
I just wanted to try this little fiddly passage from the last movement, because it's a trumpet trio and it's very conspicuous. But you know, you've got the music here. Would you just play me a few bars? 3 or 4 bars would be lovely. That's fine. Now I'm going to ask you, how are you doing that?
Single tonguing.
Single tonguing. Oh, well, you're good at that. Can you do that? Just a yan ta 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 ta. You see, there's little tenuto, and the other ones are short.
Okay.
So just a 5% faster and 5% softer. 1 and 2. That's good. That's very good. That's very good. That's very good. That's very good. This is typical of playing in the orchestra. You've got to find out all the tricks of the trade. This passage, you play it very well with single tongue, but you know it could be just a little bit faster than this in the context of the orchestra.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm going to show you a couple of alternative ways to play it.
Okay.
And sometimes the best way to learn it is really phonetically, rather than sort of playing everything with your trumpet. Now I use a sort of a kind of a triple tonguing way, and there are lots of ways to triple tongue. But could you repeat this? 1, 2, 3, da ga da da. You say da ga da da.
Da ga da da.
Or da da ga da.
Da da ga da.
Da da ga da.
Da da ga da.
That seems to be your most familiar way.
Yeah.
Can you say da da ga da da ga da da ga da da ga da?
da 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 da.
See, somehow or other, you've got to figure out your way of playing that passage. My way is da ga da ga da 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 da.
Yeah.
Can you do it a little bit slower and sort of show me how you're going to go about this?
Da da ga da ga 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 da.
Well, so that's interesting. That's like a kind of double tonguing way.
Yeah.
And that works for you. That's fine.
That won't interfere with the triplet figure, will it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
As long as it sounds right, nobody's going to know.
Okay.
So you do it one way, I do it another way, and that's fine. And you just managed to produce the results, and that's lovely. Good.
The third was quite an intricate tonguing passage at figure 56. It's a trio, a trumpet trio, and it's quite useful to know different ways you could articulate it, how fast it's going to be, and yeah, just kind of how you go about practicing it, like with a metronome or just kind of vocalizing it to get the tonguing patterns kind of precise before you actually play it on the instrument.
Preparation is absolutely essential. When you're playing an audition, your audition you might be playing for 15 minutes, but that 15 minutes it takes a lot of work to make it secure, because when you're in the audition, even though the audition panel is very, very kind and sympathetic, you still have to deliver the goods.
I found with my NYO audition that probably the most important part was preparing the excerpts, because I think that's kind of what determines whether you'd be a good orchestral player.
These days it's a little bit easier because you can look things up on the internet, Spotify, YouTube, etc. There are lots of insights you can have, and I think the more tips you can gather before you start studying the music, the better.